And I'm going to call this meeting to order, solid waste board meeting on May 19th, 2022. And we have John Kaiser, Diane Funk, Carrie Fee, Matt Whitman with the county, Mike Fanning on the phones. We have a quorum. And Carly is here. Kari is here, administrative assistant, and we don't have a commissioner yet. Any public comment? Nobody here from the public. And we don't have any minutes to review, so we're gonna have to do that next meeting for 3 months. And I presume we have no landowner assessments?
Not at the moment, no.
No.
I'll have a few that I need to
Okay.
get before you.
Oh, let's go right into old business then. Discussion of collection sites. Anybody?
Yeah, how things going, Matt, at all the collection sites?
Good. We're getting ready to have the automatic gates put in. So that'll be good. Working with them on RFID readers. Apparently LiftMaster is involved in some sort of lawsuit. And so they might not have the RFID readers this year. So that might have to be some other companies' RFID readers, but they're the professionals that do it all the time. So they know what we'll actually need to do. They're out of Great Falls, so they put in gates for nuclear missile silos. So I feel like they're probably pretty confident about that.
Kind of the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think what else. The Trail Creek site has not seen a lot of use so far this summer, with the amount of traffic or construction in the canyon there. I think people aren't driving that way, which I'm also hoping, once those automatic gates go in,
Tours.
yeah, that and you can't get in there.
Good, yeah, keep
So,
that
yes,
abuse down.
yeah, if you come from Livingston
Good.
to go out there, you just can't get into the site. The collection site stuff.
Matt, the readers are we gonna try and have those ready to send to people before the tags go out next year in 2023?
Yes, and theoretically, we won't have tags after
Right.
that. But it'll just be the RFID readers.
Okay.
And there's a few different types we can do. There's still hang tag ones, there's stickers, there's just ones you could just throw on your dash. All sorts of different ways to do it. But yeah, that would be, the theory would be, is that we no longer send out tags. You get your RFID reader and, if you lose it 1 year, it's a $10 fee to replace it or whatever it is.
Okay.
And then all we have to send out is just a update if we want to. That's only if we want to, really.
So is this system being used with other counties?
I'm not sure with other counties, but it is with other access restrictions.
And what are they finding the best way to send those out to people? In other words, somebody will have it, if it's on a hanger, then it just hangs there and it's there all the time, just like the tag.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the other way would be to,
You can do stickers, you can do just like a
Oh.
fob that sits on your dashboard. Any of those. So
Probably better off with some sort of something that hangs on the mirror. This way they can not leaving the fob at home or.
well, that would be the same thing, people are with change.
oh yeah.
The normal.
And they're getting me costs for doing it the different ways and all that sort of stuff. So if one is 4 times as expensive as the other, then
Good.
look at that.
So gates, where are you putting them in at?
It will go at Forest Service, Trail Creek, and Chico.
We're pulling the power from the actual Forest Service for that gate.
No, it's going to be a new drop.
Oh, new drop,
Yeah.
really?
Yep, Northwestern Energy's getting me a cost on that right now. So,
Good.
yeah.
Good,
gentlemen,
guys.
Uh-oh, now we're in trouble. So we
Good.
just got,
Matt.
Mike, we just got Tom Burns and Dick Junkie here.
Mike Fanning's on.
Oh, you got a number.
You do.
Mr. Junkie,
Oh.
Mr. Burns, Duncan?
Yes.
Okay, anything else on those?
No, we just went over, the landfill sites. You guys have anything on sites needs? Any of them? Not just sites.
Collection
Green box
sites. Matt was just saying those gates be going into Forest Service, Trail Creek and Chico. The RFID cards might be a little bit behind because of the troubles at the.
It's not that they're be behind, but they might not, LiftMaster makes specific readers. They might not be a LiftMaster reader. They might be Lorax or whatever. So it'll just kind of depend on the company.
So is there a better one than the other one?
That's what they're working on getting right now.
You'll want some.
And then, so that would go out next January.
I'm hoping we can do it before then. And if those gates are installed and the card readers are installed, if they're installed by the 1st of September, then we'll send it out in October.
Beautiful.
As soon as we're done, we'll do it.
Good. Sooner the better. Good.
So are you gonna have an article in paper and
Oh, yeah.
blah, 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 about all that?
Oh, yeah. We'll be tooting our own horn. I'll make sure you guys know that
Okay,
the newspapers out there, so you can come out and get some photos.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, and then maybe we can hit on that legal dumping thing a little bit. And
Oh, yeah.
how this is gonna curb that or critique that,
Yep, yep,
hopefully.
yeah.
Good.
Okay, you guys okay? What you did. Discussion of self-haul to Logan, anybody? Matt?
We should be pretty close, ready to go. We're getting a couple of compactor containers. They're 40-yarders, but those aren't critical. They just improve efficiency. And trucks and equipment and everything are all ready to go,
Okay, but your foreman's in Arizona,
but only for a week.
I know. He's
Yeah.
been sending me texts,
Oh, gotcha.
because I'm from Arizona.
So
Oh, nice.
the compactor itself is up to date then, and
Yeah, oh, yeah, well, it's maintained and everything's right. I don't know if you call it a new compactor, but
I saw you were advertised for another truck driver.
we do, yeah.
How'd you make out?
We have not had a single applicant yet. I do enough cross training between roads and solid waste that if we're hauling over the hill and we need another guy, we'll have someone that comes over. It could be one of those that, Warren has very busy days and not as busy days that, we might have a road crew guy join every Monday and every Friday and, Tuesday through Thursday, they don't need another person, but that's a plan if we don't get that additional person, so.
It's nice to have that option.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I know it's tough finding help, especially CDL
Huh?
drivers.
Especially when
I-
Century Construction down here will approach my guys and offer them over $60 an hour to come work for them the next day.
Well. Okay, you're gonna do a report,
Or,
department report?
yeah, I can pass that out.
Okay, good enough. Yeah, I don't think we have it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he just
there it
handed
is.
it to us.
There it is, okay. New business. Okay, we're gonna discuss the contracts, so let's open that up for discussion. Burns.
yeah, I have a few questions. This was on page 3, it's the pricing. So on the cardboard contract, talked about payments of the 455 and so on. Estimated annual amount 60,000. So the annual rate increase, where did that number come from?
Annual in the contract?
Yeah, 5%. Where did that 5%?
Because that's what they said they would feel comfortable with, making this a 3-year contract. If it was less than 5%, they'd go year to year.
I think that's probably a better option, year to year.
If they come back with 8% next year,
Is
No,
there,
that-
Let me-
well,
let
tell
me-
you what,
let me-
is
let me-
there any way to do up to 5%? worded differently, up to 5%, and then it, should be related, it should be tied in with, like the cost of living increase or whatever it's called for business.
And that's what I have here, and that's why I'm suggesting, so.
I mean, that's something they can say yes to, but they told me they feel comfortable with is 5. They can say, no, we're not interested.
Okay, so the consumer price index of inflation for the last 13 years averages 2.37. 2021, it's 7% so far. They're estimating 2.7% and 2.3% is 23rd and 24th. Then if you go over a 22-year period, 2022, it still averages over that time 2.4. So we're almost giving them double what they
Okay.
want. I'm just kind of bringing this up for discussion, so I'm just kind of wondering where that 5% came from.
Well, if we were to list it as up to 5%, still gives them the ability that they need 5% to put 5% on there.
I can ask them if they're okay with that.
Now, if that was the case, what do they have to present to justify their increase?
You just get on the Western, shoot, I just forgot the organization. Remember the federal organization is to do Western States CPI when they calculate that every year.
Do you know what that's been the last couple of years?
I think Western States CPI is last 2 to 3 years has been between 4 and 8%.
4 and 8%.
Versus the national.
Oh yeah, Western States is way different than national, way higher.
Well, I would say,
Why is that? Basically,
Because cost of living and everything in the West has gone up dramatically compared to, say, Alabama.
New York or Boston.
well, I could say fuel right off, I could say, just because the
Yeah.
distances we have to travel.
Yep.
Fuel is one of the
And
main
yeah, and
things.
if we do a year to year, there's no, they can come back with 20% higher. They don't have to.
It would be nice to have that up to 5%, just so that it's not an automatic 5% every year. Maybe really they only need 3%.
I can ask them if they're okay with that.
I mean, I think that's reasonable. I just gone on. And again, Matt, what I'm going about is that I did several large government contracts over the year, some of them $500,000-$600,000. We were only allowed the CPI increase through a federal government contract. So I just don't want to be handing them something we don't have to. Just a thought.
I think if they would go with that wording, up to 5%, instead of a straight 5%.
Then I got another question. So below that, it says county will pay contractor $25 per month for rental of 5-year containers. Question is, how many containers are we talking about?
I had that on the handout from last month. I don't have it with me. There was quite a few. So the desire is to purchase all those because it's cheaper for us over the long run. I think the payback is 3 years.
Okay, that's where the 48, that was the 48,000 for purchasing, right?
Exactly, but because we don't have them purchased yet, I would like to have that in the contract.
Yeah, so we will be renting them until we purchase.
From the contract.
No, we'll be July 1st, we'll just purchase them. They're gonna sell us the ones that are out there already.
Oh,
So we're just gonna cut a check to,
good.
just purchase them.
So that language is in there just until we get a purchase.
Yeah, or if we were to decide not to purchase them, or,
If we
the
tell them
Yellowstone
anything,
club
that-
goes nuts and we have to rent it or something.
I think purchasing is a great idea. I mean, at least if nothing else, I wish that I know I've been here 9 years. I wish we'd have had a lease to buy, at least with these guys, instead of just throwing that money away. So I'm all for purchasing.
Yeah.
Well, they've been providing them to us for free right now, so. We've been,
Over the years,
yeah, so we've been doing a, free rental to buy, if you will. So we've been getting a very good deal out of it.
good.
So yeah, John, they found out that and Peter and Dave basically kind of went back and realized that they'd been kind of giving us a gift by letting us
Yep.
use those containers without charging us for them. And they said that's their bad and they're not gonna worry about it.
Okay. Did we ever figure, do we own anything that's out there that recycles stuff?
We
Don't
own some triple bits.
How many of those?
I think we own.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many are there, or
This is your paperwork.
I've got them. I don't think that's on there.
yeah, these are the ones we have to purchase.
This is all the purchase
Oh.
price.
But I think we own
2 or 3?
3 or 5.
Good.
I'd like to see us, if it's not too late, to add that 25 in the contract that says what the options are, in other words, until. It just, I mean, this, the way this paragraph reads is just open-ended. Per month for 8-yard containers, but it doesn't say what you talked about. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand that's
No,
what you
I
guys
don't.
are doing, but I think the contract doesn't reveal that.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Well,
He wants to just have it worded as a monthly, it's just as a monthly rent as needed.
until we purchase, or something like that, yeah.
Basically as needed. Well, once we purchase them, we're not renting.
So those costs and stuff are not part of the 65,000 estimate, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, on the recycling cardboard, not to exceed 40,000. A contractor shall credit the county for the value of commodities from the operations. What has been the past that we've received for those commodities?
Oh, they talked about it last month and I can't remember.
They really wouldn't give us an answer to that question, Tom. They were kind of, it's really not up to them. It's international market. and
But what's the
Yeah,
past?
that's projected.
In the past, they weren't getting anything.
What were we getting paid?
Nothing, probably. I don't know, man. It's like,
Well,
It's come up,
we had to.
it's come up in the past couple of
Yeah,
years with
right.
all the mail packages and everything.
5 years ago, scrap metal was way up.
Oh, yeah. It's back up now pretty good.
Yeah.
Scrap metal, yes.
Yeah,
Well,
so I'm just saying, it offset, I know cardboard pretty well, paper goods pretty well. I remember Dave saying that over the last few years, it lost value with plastics.
I think,
But they must have had some
I
sort of
think
number.
about 5 years ago was when China came down with its green sword policy and just cut imports to China for the massive amount that America was importing recycling materials into China. So then the price dropped out of the market and you were getting no value for commodities at all. Took 2 to 3 years for America to build several actual recycling plants. So you could actually take the cardboard to wherever it is, Oklahoma or whatever, and have it recycled. And then the price for the last 2 to 3 years has been climbing as you can actually recycle it in the States now.
yeah, they remember Dave was stockpiling cardboard. And not only him, but I guess most of the recycled companies were. And then the price of cardboard started climbing and then they were able to get rid of it. And so when we asked Peter about what we might be getting, he was like, you really wouldn't give us a dollar amount.
So.
Yeah. Would be nice to know what they actually, what it was the last 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, for each year.
They brought that in last month.
They did?
Yeah.
When you get that,
I
would you,
didn't see that.
did you see that? Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bring that?
I missed that amount. I didn't pick that up.
Yeah, that'd be nice to know.
So you get a couple, like, down on the recycling contract, I'm just trying to understand this, maybe it's just a way to word it. The contractor shall provide the county with the following services.
What page are we on?
This on page 3.
On the recycle contract.
Right, down about 4th paragraph down where it says contractor shall So services. 1,100 for painting triple bins owned by the county. So the contractor's not paying the county 1,100, are they?
No,
No,
Okay. Well, that's what it says.
Well, it says the contractor will
Shall.
provide for the county.
We should provide the
Applying
county.
services, okay, the services they're talking about.
Oh, the
is
services for painting. So the service is the painting, $1,100.
Okay, we're paying them 1,100.
Yes.
Okay, that's how many triple bins, so how much would that be?
Either that 3 to 5, whatever we own, correct?
there's two that need painted right now.
$1,100 for one bin?
Yep, because they actually, they sandblast it and, paint it correctly so it lasts more than, 3 months. And we could go out and have somebody else do it instead, but my guess is we're looking at 3 times the cost.
Again, I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying, Matt, it's just that I don't think we should have to use generalized numbers. I think there should be something very specific behind these numbers. Or just rather than, they tell you it's gonna cost $1,100 per bin.
Would you like down to the cents?
No,
Or
no, no, no,
What do
I'm
you
just
mean?
saying checks and balances, so
So
you
like,
said, well, if we did it out, but again, they're just giving you a number, we're accepting that number.
They're providing us a service and
With
giving
a
us the
number
cost for
that
the service.
was an unverified number. We're
So-
just giving them that number. Now, point being, okay, now, 800 for applying recycle stickers. We're gonna pay them 800 to put recycle stickers on the bins?
Yep.
They're providing us a good.
They do that for free, that's the cost of the stickers that actually go on the recycling bins.
We're paying $800 for stickers.
do we know how many bins? I mean, so what are you looking, Tom, for a number for each one?
Well, I'm just.
So, well, I
I'm just
mean,
saying
well,
we
let's
got-
just do it. Well, I'm looking, if we're gonna paint, you think we're painting too?
Yeah.
As of now? So look at times 2, I, so there's 2,200.
well, not necessarily. See, it's, if you read it, it says 1,100 for painting triple bins.
Yes.
So that might have painted 2, that might have painted 3. We don't know that, but that.
No,
1,100
no, if there's a bin that needs it and they say, hey, your recycling bin at Will Salt needs painted, would you like us to go do that? I say, great, it's $1,100.
Oh,
for the
it is.
contract.
And right now, you're
Oh.
thinking 2.
I think that's what it was off the top of my head.
So right there. So for the triple bins, if we own, you said 3 to 5, we're purchasing 3 triple bins we purchase in here. Triple bins,
I don't think we have to
No,
purchase any of them.
so we're good on triple bins?
Yep.
So we might have 5, well, I know it's gotta be 5.
I'd have to go back and look.
Let's just say it's 5. So that's 4,000.
They don't all need painted though.
Huh?
We
Not
don't-
painted, that's stickers.
Oh, stickers, I think
They put new
3 of
stickers
them,
on
I
everything.
think 3 of them need the new stickers.
No,
And
I'm
that's
just gonna-
after they paint them, they put those back on because they have to sandblast them and paint them, so obviously no sticker can stay on them.
So they don't have to present cost of material plus labor to justify the. They don't have to say it's gonna take us 2 hours at $15 an hour, blah, blah, blah. to come up with it.
No, that's cost of the stickers is actually $800 and they're putting it on with free labor.
$800 for, how big are the stickers like?
There's 6 of them, they're I think 12 inches high and 30 inches long.
Okay, that might, okay, 800 for 6 stickers. Not
Yes, because
800.
each
For the stickers for that,
triple bin requires 6 stickers
each side,
because it has one on each side for each
each compartment.
compartment. Okay.
So it's $800 times 6, or the 800 covers the 6?
He thinks there's 3 of them that need to be done.
I'm just trying to figure out,
$800 for the triple bin.
Per triple bin.
Owned by the county.
And there's 3 triple bins that need it, we think. So
Yep.
we're around 2,400.
okay, so that's not per sticker, that's per bin,
That's per triple
Yes.
bin.
okay? Now, it says 3,000 annual rent. I I guess what confused me, the contractor shall provide the county with. But what's coming down below is really us providing them the money. So 3,000 annual rent for roll-offs by contractor utilized by county. Not a service they're providing, it's a cost that we're paying them.
I guess it's semantics. If John builds me a building, do I provide him with money or does he provide me with?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. This is not a very well written contract. Because I told Terry, I've done thousands of contracts. in my business, and I find this very poorly written for me to understand.
Okay, I will let the attorneys know that.
So Matt, have these contracts passed through legal?
Yes.
And then legal approves them as is?
Well, I didn't look at this. Stuff too.
Because,
Okay,
so the 3,000 annual rent for roll-offs are for what, metal roll-offs or what?
Metal roll-offs if we don't purchase them, or triple bin roll-offs if we don't purchase them. Any roll-off we have to rent. If we have another site we put in, it's $3,000 to rent.
Okay, so, well, are we renting from them right now, any roll-offs? We own all our own roll-offs, right?
The metal roll-off bins we do not own, so we'll have to purchase those, but it's $6,000 to buy them or $3,000 to rent. So I'd rather just buy them.
So the metal bins, we are renting from them right now? at all of our
They're, I
sites?
think we don't pay for them. That's something that they've kind of just missed in their
What do you
paperwork
get
over
in here
the
now?
past, so it's a free service we've been.
So do you have that in that purchase for bins?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
good, okay.
okay, so my question is, so this down here, those things are not part of the 40,000?
no,
So it's 40,000 plus. Again, I shouldn't have to add those numbers up. Those numbers should all be added up. Okay, so it's 40,000 plus estimated additional costs. Last question. How much total is recycling in Costa County?
I can't remember that since that was provided last month.
Okay, 65 in one, 40 for the other. That's 105.
Yeah, plus,
Okay.
I apologize, I didn't bring them since, I thought since we went all overall in that last month. that we-
Right, John, if you look at the contract, I guess what I'm saying, Matt, is this doesn't tell us what the actual costs are. We have to add them up ourselves.
I have the sheet here that says that the total recycling program cost, including the loan for the containers, is $85,906.
Okay. But doesn't 65 and 40 add up to 105?
I'm not sure. No, I
Well,
didn't
65.
do this.
Okay, 65, up here, and 40. That's in these two contracts.
okay, so I think there's a couple of things that are floating. We're being charged per trip. Of course, we
Right.
would like to do tonnage. We live and die on tonnage, and we need to, I'm hearing that maybe they have the ability to give us tonnage. But anyways, we're being charged on trips. Trips is a wild card. We don't know exactly how many trips. If we get real busy, or we get less busy, it could be more trips or less trips. I don't think that's a hard number, and I think it was 60,000 and not to exceed 65,000 was a number in there. Correct?
Right.
And the 40,000, I don't
Well,
know,
60, not to exceed 65.
I think, and that was on the cardboard one, I think.
So if let's just use the 60, that's 100,000. Then plus all these other costs.
Now, Tom, the price, Matt, can you come here a second?
So what they gave us was,
So these recycle program costs, is this as it is right now?
That is my estimate for the year. So the cardboard collection, my guess is this next year is gonna come in at 55,000. for collection of the triple bins. My guess is that's gonna come in at 20,000. And the containers, the annualized loan over 5 years for the containers is 11,000. The total cost to the program or for the recycling program is 86,000.
How can that be when you got 1640 written? That's 100.
Cause I put in that we get paid back for
Oh, yeah. for
the
the
commodity costs,
But
so.
we don't have any history of what we're gonna get people.
So,
So you must have got a number from someplace to reduce our income for commodities.
That's what they brought last month.
and it's estimated. Once again, it says on your estimated annual amount for collection operations is 40,000. That's for the recycling, estimated. I know, like I say, these guys might be doing less trips or more trips. The good thing we have not to exceed 65 at least on the cardboard. Recycling 40, up to 40,000. Well, I don't see one on that actually. It just says estimated is 40,000. The other one, the cardboard gives us a estimated 60, not to exceed 65.
1640 makes 100.
Yep, 100.
Okay, but like the thing is, you said there hasn't been any money coming in the past in commodities.
If I remember right, that's about what they said they paid us back was around 20,000. I think that's what they said at the last meeting,
Yep.
that
that's correct.
they paid us that much for the commodities that they do.
Okay.
I think that's how that come down.
We're thinking, not knowing.
That's right. I don't have the paperwork with me.
Plus,
But we did make money off of some of the commodities.
the thing with their contracts is, yes, they're estimated because they're charging us per trip. We don't know what our return's gonna be on the commodity sorted. So we really, no, there's no way really to have a hard number. Now, if we're coming looking to me for a hard number, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be conservative.
You'd have to show your.
I'm gonna cover it, and you know what? It's not gonna be 105.
Okay,
I'll
you'd
give
have
you
to show your
130.
numbers. You'd have to show your fuel, your mileage, your insurance.
You don't know how to project that for a year.
Bids are only
No, you
holding
don't.
for
Look
60
at the
days,
fuel.
30 to
Fuel's
60
going up every
days.
day. It's been stable over the years. You've been able to project fuel, but this is such a volatile time with pricing.
Right now, I do
But
know,
it's not gonna last
True.
forever.
True.
That's all I'm saying. That's today.
Okay.
So,
You know what's nice with this? 30-day written notice for cancellation of policy at any time.
so question to you. So if you say, well, gas is $6, $7, this and that, I say, okay. Okay. If gas goes down, are you gonna go down in
That's
contract?
where that up to 5%, that gas goes down and I expect them to be,
So you have to submit your numbers to show if it's 5 or 2 or 3. Right?
yeah, they should. At the end of the year, they ought to be able to submit exactly what they did, however many trips. And actually, what do they bill us by the month or is it annual billing or?
It is by the month. Yep. So I get that every month.
So really, at the end of the year, we have a true number for recycling. You know what they were for the prior year then.
I'm sure we can look it up. Yeah.
So, okay, and I think that'd be good, so we know.
Yeah. I'd like to know what those exact commodity returns were for the
Well,
last 5 years. And it can't be just 20,000 per year.
no, I think they broke it down last week. On that. Two different figures they had on the cardboard and the commodity.
It'd be a nice one to know.
But cardboard and iron was the only commodities that
Made in.
made any money. You see cardboard on the interstate all the time. But what my problem is if we're paying them $100,000, we need to know really how many ton they're taking. That's what we really need to know, because if they're taking 20 ton and we're paying 104,000, it's a lot cheaper for us to dump it. And I just talked to a guy that lives in Bozeman, found out that Walmart's saving their cardboard going to the dump. It ain't feasible.
You know, well,
And he went to recycle some at the recycling place and they wanted to charge him to dump it.
I
So the
agree.
last time what they talked about, the issue is cardboard takes up a lot of space. So
Yes,
if
it does.
cardboard goes into the compactor at Gardner, those compactors, instead of getting pulled at 10 tons, they're gonna get pulled at 6 tons. So you're then having to pay for the disposal of the cardboard as well as 4 tons of lost space in each container.
And that's
So
what,
you're not
the way-
getting,
The way we talked.
We at
Yeah.
some point need tonnage. We need to know what they.
Yeah.
Did I hear that they're gonna have the ability to give us tonnage this year?
According to Dave, they have an app that will help with that.
We need tonnage. Once again, we live and die in tonnage, not by the
Yeah.
trip, by volume.
Well, they
We
get
need-
paid in tonnage, right? I mean, when they submit it to get
Yeah, but
recycled.
we need to know how much tonnage they're picking up. Like Dick said, at what cost is recycling cost prohibitive?
Yeah.
Right now, okay, we're good on paying this dollar amount possibly, but hey, maybe this is going up another 25% or 5% increase. That thing's gonna compound.
So
and they're picking up our plastics, right? They're picking up plastics
that's in the triple bins, yes.
and plastics are in the dump.
Yep.
Is what he said.
Yep.
So we're paying them up to pick up plastic to dump it, basically.
Right.
Well, we gotta think about that.
What do you mean to dump it?
Well, if it's worth nothing, they're not gonna spend thousands of dollars to make a dollar.
No, they're doing that because people pay, like they're recycling the plastics because people are paying.
Because we're paying them.
Yep.
To do it. But if we ain't paying them to do the plastics, then dump them. That's,
Well, they can't.
I can see
recycle
where
all the
cardboard
plastics.
will not compact it. That's, you're right, 100%.
We're paying 40,000.
It's gotta be a place to figure it out. Wait,
So Matt, do you know when Four Corners and Full Circle bill us, are they billing us on a per trip basis?
Yep.
On a per trip basis, okay. I had a member from the public call me as the chair of the board. I guess the commissioners asked her to call me, and she wanted to know how many trips they make. And I talked to Warren, and Warren said to talk to Dave, Four Corners, and he would be able to give me an idea of how many trips are made. And I asked Warren, I said, well, who triggers a trip? Do his guys say, hey, you need to come out here? And he said, no, that they handle that. Four Corners handles that.
Yep.
So I'm wondering, how do they know that our bins are full?
Depends on kind of where they go. They have some that people drive by and see how full they are. Other ones, they kind of schedule it at a certain amount of time. But they go down to Yellowstone as well. So if they go to Gardner or if they go through Chico, Chico ones, not full, well, they continue to Gardner, they grab Gardner, they also then go up and grab Mammoth. If they're full, if Chico and Gardner are full, then they turn around and come back, and then they'll get the Mammoth ones the next day.
So I got a question. So we're only recycling what's in the triple bins. In the cardboard, but in triple
In
bins.
the metal.
Yeah, okay, in the metal. Now, you have metal at Fight Park, right? We don't have metal it needs. Question, okay, so we're paying 40,000 a year for just those triple bins. Everything else, like needs in it, does not get recycled.
unless they, but unless people bring it in.
Correct.
So we have to do that, so, all right, I'm getting to a really nitpicking point here, but we're gonna increase everybody's rate 34%. That's, what'd you say, $2, something more per customer, okay? That's $20,000 a year
Okay.
that I'm gonna have to pay part of that. When it goes in the dump.
It doesn't go in the dump.
Well, where does it go if it doesn't get recycled?
They recycle it, they send it to the commodities recycling center.
Tom's
that-
talking about the stuff that because he uses the needs collection site. There's no recycle bins there. Is that what you're saying, Tom?
Right.
So all
Well, it's
his
just-
go into the trash.
It's just like if you don't change out your tires and bring them to a tire bin that month, that, you're right, or that year, you're right, you paid for other people's, getting rid of tires and you didn't get rid of any. That's kind of how it is.
Well, I'm still trying to understand, 'cause one of the first meetings I went to, they were in here and they talked about, I think, 5 different grades of plastic. There's only one that was recyclable. You're saying that they haul it to where? Where do they haul it to separate all the plastic?
Oh,
and stuff?
Four corners.
Okay, they do all that.
Well, wait a
Four
minute.
corners, they empty the triple bins. The plastic, they do have to do a little bit of sorting, then they bale it, and then they send it to the center that actually like melts it down and turns it into a new product.
He has a
The only-
pretty big yard there.
So we're paying $10 a ton, okay, for recycling one type of plastic and the rest is thrown.
And that's all the recyclables. That includes aluminum and everything else. No glass.
You're paying $10 a year for all the
That's
recycling.
what I'm saying. We don't recycle at Clyde Park. We don't recycle at Eads.
for
We
all
don't
the recycling. So if you
recycle
get
at
rid
the
of-
Forest Service. We don't recycle at Deep Creek.
They're,
We
they're
don't
trying,
recycle at Mints. Those 5 places we do not
Yeah,
recycle.
but they're all there around town.
I've heard
The
this.
point is, we're not recycling everything. We're just recycling some.
But you can still take it to a recycling center. Just because you live next to Needs doesn't mean you have to go to Needs. Like, you're
With your
still-
recycle.
With your recycling, you
Right,
can
I'm
still.
gonna spend $10 to pay 2.5 cent bottles of plastic.
Some people do.
Well, really, if you think about it, recycling is a very popular thing, and really, we should be, besides being popular, we should be recycling. But
No, but
at what, it all gets down to eventually,
Right.
for us, at what cost?
Yes.
But right now, it makes sense. Sooner or later, if the prices keep going the way they are, it's possible that it won't make sense.
I'll try to bring some arguments next time. But there are many of the bigger cities that are stopping the recycling because it costs way too much.
And back to plastics, they're taking number 1 and number 2s. They don't take anything else.
Right.
Problem is everybody thinks, oh,
Right,
I
plastic and
want to
plastic.
recycle, they're gonna do it, so
Yeah,
they put
yeah,
everything in
yeah.
there. Problem is when you get a dirty load, then it's gotta get dumped.
Mike's got
Landfill.
something to say. Go ahead, Mike.
Mike, you have something to say? You have something to add? Okay,
Why not?
It's just wrenching away.
yeah.
So I guess the bottom line is the $100 and some thousand dollars we pay for recycling. We pay the taxpayers worth it.
Well, what do you guys want to do with the contracts?
Okay, well, myself right now, my feel is we're going into this new system. I think we leave it alone with the recycling, both the cardboard and the recycle contracts. Once again, these contracts can be canceled, 30-day written notice. We can change it anytime if we get into this and dig into this and see that, hey, we want to do something different at any point. But I don't think we throw that wrench into it to these guys. We're switching over to this new system.
But we're doing this, those guys, what about us, the taxpayer? That's what I'm saying. We're just, what we're doing is say taxpayer. We're gonna do this, whether you like it or not, we're just gonna put on your property bill. Now, point being, 34% increase in recycling is way out of line.
Okay, so 34%. So where are we going? Up to $10 per year from
Yeah,
From
$10.
from $7?
From $7.50
So
to
from
$10.11.
Right, so from $7.50 a year to $10.11 a year. I don't have a problem with paying that. I don't think anybody else.
So I'm gonna increase your utility bill 34% this
No,
year.
we're
No,
talking
don't talk
$3.
34%. If you want to talk 34% on 10,000, yeah.
Point being, $2 here, $4 here, $2 here, guess what happens?
Look at inflation.
Well, okay, so,
Apparently you like our property taxes
So,
going
Tom, what
up
do you-
because the government is misspending our money.
so what do you want to do with the contracts?
Approve them, yes, just give it to
No, really.
them.
What's
Way to
your,
go. I'm not gonna hold it up. I just had questions because I think
okay.
we're not getting into this enough.
Matt,
Yeah.
do you think that they should be rewarded or what's your feeling?
I can ask them if they feel like the up to 5% is something that they'd be willing to do.
Now them, you're talking the recycle people.
Yeah, the
Okay.
contractor.
Dick?
I don't think I understand.
Yeah,
Come on, fix it.
we gotta get it going until we got time to fix it, but I still think we need to have some definite amounts of tonnage that they're hauling in. You know, especially like out of Gardner.
Yeah.
Because if they're hauling 5 ton of cardboard out of there and it's costing us a pile of money, it ain't worth it.
I think it might be beneficial too to everyone to watch last month's video, because I feel like they went over most of these questions last month.
That's online,
It is.
Well, they did make sense about the compacting cardboard because it doesn't compact it. Yes, that makes sense. But there's a limit to when it ain't feasible. That's all I'm saying. We need to really look at this thing.
We need tonnage.
Yep.
What we need for us to look at.
Well, let's deal with the contracts right now. So if Matt, if you can get that taken care of with the contracts and bring them back to us for next month, or do they need to go through now? What's your timeline with the contract?
They were wanting these done by July 1st.
July 1st, so we have
So
another
next,
board meeting.
Well, and then after it goes through your board meeting, then it has to go to the county commission.
well, I don't see why they wouldn't change that up to 5%.
Well, even if they don't, I don't think it's a game changer. I think that, John's 100% right about our safety net. We have 30-day cancellation. So if these things aren't working out, now I talked to Warren a couple days ago, he's in Arizona, and he called me and we talked about the contracts. And he's okay with everything, with the recyclables, but also that's his feeling too, is let's get this thing moving, self-haul, and see if there's a glitch there. If there isn't, then let's just roll with it. If there is, then we'll have to discuss it, we'll have to deal with it.
Okay, I got a question, Matt. You mentioned the Western States CPI.
Yep.
Why can't we use that as a basis?
I can ask them about that.
I mean, that's what a lot of contracts are. I didn't. So if it's 3.5, they get 3.5. If it's 7, 8, they get 8.
Then just to give everybody a timeline, if this came back next month, it would be on the 16th. That would leave 2 commissioner meetings before the 1st.
Well, the 16th, then we can't get it on the 21st. We would have one meeting.
John, you make a motion.
I'd rather keep it as the up to 5% as a cap based on the Western States. What'd you call it? Western States what?
CPI, consumer price,
Right.
price index.
I didn't know. that
Consumer
existed.
price index would be the thing.
Yep.
Up to 5%, this way it puts a cap on it.
Okay.
Based on the Western States.
Okay.
So,
So do we want to go ahead and approve this so that it gives the commissioners?
yeah, but let's, all right, so if we do, let's just approve it. We'll let Matt work that out with that wordage on the that change. We won't even mention that on this. We'll let him do that.
Somebody make a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion that we recommend to the county commissioners to accept the cardboard recycling contract and the recycling contract.
I'll second it.
Oh, Mike is awake.
Okay, Mike is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, discussion of solid waste policy and fee schedule. It's. Okay, we're into that. It is unclear exactly what is going on with the new assessments for basically the cut. Can you explain to us how you're, like, where you're getting your information from?
So in the past, there's just been a check that's been sent, or a bill that's been sent out to them. I have no idea where that came from or why it was what it was. Um, That's just been the way it is. So when I went back and actually looked through and counted out the number of properties and used our fee policy and schedule, to actually assess them like they should accurately be assessed.
Right.
It's about $30,000. And so just like every other person in the county, my plan is your assessment, as everybody has assessed in the county, is $30,000. If you would like an abatement, you need to come before you and request an abatement.
Okay. So when you found what the cut owed, what database were you using to find the properties?
County Treasurer's Office, rural addressing, satellite data, and going out there and looking.
Because I see you have here an assessor number attached to each of them.
Property number, yeah, for the assessment or for the assessor.
So this one has 30 dwellings and 2 churches on one.
Yep.
Assessment. Okay, and so we're not getting paid for any of those right now?
Well, I don't know when, well, the ones that they've, in the past, there's just been pretty much a $10,000 bill that comes out. I have no idea why they did that. That's long before I ever got here. And so me actually going out and counting the number of buildings they have, number of dwellings, number of campsites, that's what it comes to.
Okay, so we're just gonna do this and then it's up to them to say if it's different, right?
If they would like an abatement, then that's what has to come before you guys.
Like
They
we
have
do
to
the other one,
explain,
they have to prove that they're
Yeah.
not. using-
or explain why, yeah. That's not my position to just give people a tax break.
So I did talk to Marilyn Hartley, who's put the invoices together. And she said at that point, just over the years, back when they first put these assessments together, they sort of just, what the data they had, that's what she came up with. She didn't have any more of a breakdown on it or anything else, of course.
But I think they had big enough tracts of land that you couldn't just see what they were doing. Is the fact that you might get shot when you go on the property, means that they kind of got to dictate what their own assessment was. And I put the time into it,
So are you doing this throughout the county?
trying to as they come up. I try to take care of the biggest spots first, that if you own a big place like that, or a campground, or that sort of thing, that's probably where I should look at first versus just randomly choosing someone that has a single house and seeing if they built anything.
Let me ask you, with this here, do you have that new Yellowstone Hot Springs included in here?
Yep.
Okay, here's one of my
So where's
concerns.
it included at?
It is,
36.
It can't be this one because it's all north of Cineplex. But it must be.
no, that one, that's 30 dwellings, 2
That's
churches.
down
That's
by
their
the main
main.
office.
Yeah, I think there should be a next page there.
There is business or cabin residence.
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah, so there you go. Mobile, MH is mobile home. So that's the 18 tent sites, 8 RV spots,
one
11 residents, 1 business, and it's weird how they have their property divided in there. There's kind of a U-shaped property with something on the inside, and so dividing those 2 out into 2 different properties is not easy because it's just like you go and look into cadastral, it's very strange, but that's the total number when you count everything in there.
Well, Matt, I think you did a great job with this, and, once again, we have our policy with our fee schedule, which we updated. We've updated it over the years, but I mean, we've never really gone out and applied it as you have here, which is great. And this is what we do need to do at several places. Chico being one right off.
Yep.
The music place at, Trail Creek.
Montana Music.
Yeah, I mean, there's several of them that need it. This is great. With us having our policy and our fee schedule, now that Matt has, if we send this invoice, they get invoiced for this assessments on their tax bill, they need to come to us, like we just talked, and well, they would need to come in and write up a abatement.
Right, they gotta write it first
That's
before
right.
they
It
show up
goes
at a
to
meeting, right?
finance and they research it all. And by the way, who does research that? Different times over the years, we volunteered to go and look at stuff. Do we have somebody that's doing that?
It's kind of in a nebulous area between me and finance right now, so.
Okay.
We'll get
You
that all
guys-
straightened out.
You guys will be doing,
Yeah.
doing that, Chase.
So I'm not gonna have like 35 people just show up at a meeting. They have to do the paperwork.
Well, that's one of my big concerns, Matt, is maybe we should get in front of this a little bit, because if let's say, for example, that the cut shows up and then they want abatements for 20 properties. You surely don't expect the board members to go out and look at these properties.
Nope.
Maybe if we can,
The number I gave you is what I counted. Like, if they want me to go out, if they want to do an abatement request and have my recommendation for you, I'm happy to go out there and look.
okay,
My guess is if we go out there and do a deeper investigation, there'll probably be more than less.
right.
My guess is my guess is they'll come in and say, well, that seems like that's excessive. We'd like to pay less. And that's gonna be the rationale.
Well, I agree with John that, it's, yeah, if they owe money to the county for refuge, then they should pay.
Yep.
But I think that we need to also consider, like, who's gonna do the investigating? When and if they come because you basically
Generally, that should
told
be-
Alan to come to our board meeting for an abatement if they want it. And so if he does, and we say, okay, well, whose word do we take?
All right, well, first of all, we need to have copies of our policy and fee schedule. When they come in with their paperwork, we're gonna get it from finance, first of all. We're gonna do the research on it, like they always do with the abatements. Present it to us with their findings. Before they even go, I would think they would inquire and, want to get a copy of our policy and fee schedule so that they can relate it and come up with the same numbers to verify what Matt came up with. I mean,
Right.
if it was me, if somebody handed me this, that's what I'd be looking at.
Well, I'm sure, Matt, that your schedule is rather full.
Yep.
I'm sure over there at finance, are gonna say the same thing, so all of a sudden, like, here's a whole bunch more work. Like,
That's just
who
my
wants
life.
it?
And now that
Um,
there's no mention of the bomb shelters, aren't they still up there?
Yes.
See, there's no mention of them, and nobody probably knows how many bomb shelters they got fixed up.
Yeah, but the hard thing with that is also that they're not.
No. No.
If you drive up there, some of it you can see from the top.
Oh,
of the hill there.
Yeah.
Where they
But
are.
this was a first attempt. I think I got pretty well what you can see, and already at it being 30,000 instead of 10,000.
So have you heard back from them and all
I
of
have
them?
not.
Not at all. And when is this tax bill due?
October, so they can choose, once we choose our new, or once you guys have the new rate, then if they would like to pay their bill all in one, they can pay their bill, or it goes on their taxes.
I got a question. The $10,000, was that just a lump sum bill we sent?
That's what's been done in the past. I would be willing to work with them to send them a bill again at the new rate. If they do not want to pay it, then it goes on their taxes.
Yeah.
I have to, excuse me, I got an interview I'm gonna go downstairs for.
How you been in business?
Are you going up
Why
after any of these outfits, businesses that's run out of their homes?
I haven't yet. That's probably third priority. Second priority is gonna be all the new campgrounds that have gone in.
Okay.
Before, so.
All right.
So you're not giving a report.
Because
I've got my report, but I haven't
that's the
done
way
an
they
interview. So I think
that's
I passed one to you. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
all right.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
You gotta go?
Yeah. I've got an interview I've got to get down to, so.
All right.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your question, truck drivers you're looking for, those just part-time or
No, full-time.
full-time? Okay.
Well, you would take part-time, right? You bet.
He don't want to.
Yes, he does.
No, not this yet.
Okay,
Oh,
guys.
no.
I already
I
said
can't
that.
drive.
So let's stay on track here. So in regards to what's happening with, for example, the cut, if Matt goes out and finds more people that are not paying, should be paying, and they come to our board for abatements, we're gonna have to figure out a way that we're gonna be able to check this out. And,
Okay, well, I just asked him, he said finance and him
yeah,
is gonna chase it.
yeah, I don't
Well-
know if finance is gonna chase it.
Well, first of all, when the abatement comes in, they don't come to us. It goes to finance first before it gets submitted. You're gonna do the paperwork on it. Remember how Marilyn used to give us that whole packet?
Right.
It had all the information on what her findings were.
And we didn't get it for the last abatement that came before the board. It was pretty much just a verbal thing that, and we haven't got anything about that. So what I'm concerned about, John, is
Yeah.
that's nice to say finances can do it, but I don't know that finances can be able to do it.
But it ain't gonna be us.
Well,
It's not gonna
the
be-
problem is that Matt, in his email to Alan, said he couldn't do this board. That was his.
Well, and
Well, they do.
That's fine.
We're gonna submit it. We're gonna have our paperwork. And our whole thing is, we're going off of whatever our fee policy, whatever our policy and fee schedule is it. And listen, we don't want more than what we don't want more than what they owe, but we don't want less than what they
I just want this
owe.
board
We
to
just
be
want to
ready
be
for it.
fair.
Well, we have to have,
What?
did he already send it to him?
Yeah.
Didn't sound like he did.
Well, he sent them an email.
Oh,
This is.
You
You didn't get that. You don't get.
so
I didn't get.
you're right. We should have all
Did you
the,
get that email?
the schedule stuff here at the next meeting, just in case somebody shows up. It'll probably be their lawyer guy, that Smith. Or like,
Okay,
he's still there.
and say what? What'd you
We
say?
should have all our ducks in a row. We should have our,
Well, as far as
all our
I'm,
fee stuff
we do have.
and,
Yeah. I've got,
make sure we got it here when they come.
look at, Matt put this together, it's gonna be up to them, whenever they want an abatement, they've gotta say, well, look at, this is already on my tax roll. This one here's on, this one, we sold this property. We don't have it. That's up to them
Yeah.
to show up. Then it will be researched. By Matt and finance, not us running around.
Nope.
They'll get, we're not gonna, if they show up here, we're not having any answer. What I would do is I'd give them a, copy of the, our policy and fee schedule and say, you know, and they can give us, and they can tell us about the properties. And we'll say, okay, well, we'll look into it and we'll respond back. But
Yeah, like the Cinnabar Basin, it looks to me like we got 36 structures under one tax.
No, wait, let's back up. So John, you just said we'll look into it. Who's we? The
Well,
county?
that's gonna be, yes, the
Yeah.
county.
Okay, so this is what I'm trying to do is get the board together on this and say that as a board, when it comes to us with that question, in the past, you've run out to a property and looked at, I know that property, or you say, I know that property. So now we're just gonna say, no, it's not our business to go look at the property. It's finance and Matt's.
Well, when we tell them we'll look into it, we're not just saying us.
Right. That's what I'm
And,
trying
and
to
we'll
say.
just take it to finance and say, oh, this is, and it's the same thing when we do with any of our other,
Yes, abatements request.
yeah,
Okay.
we do the same thing. We either table it or she brings us the information and we pass it.
Okay.
So
I'm just trying to make.
unless
sure
we
that-
want to take a road trip and go look. through all
No,
the
we don't want to
Yeah.
be, we don't want to be in charge of that.
No.
I think he did, I think he did great. This is what our whole
Yes.
restructure of the fee policy was all about. Is this here, finding people that are not paying.
Well, he actually went out and done the work.
Yeah. And he says,
So that's
next
good.
thing, it sounded like it, because I asked him about the businesses that these guys are running out of their houses.
Yeah,
And he said, that's about third going down. The next one's going after these ones that's got these campgrounds.
Well.
Just started a campground any old
Okay.
place.
So I'm just trying to get us on the same,
Yeah.
same track here as a board, because like I say, he told Alan to come before this board for an answer about
To bring-
if he didn't agree with the tax bill, come to this board. And so I want this board, when he comes to our board meeting, to be able to say the same thing. Also, if we're talking to a member of the public, that we're saying the same thing to the public as we're saying here. to the
And
board.
our same thing is we have policy in place. We have a fee schedule in place.
Right.
Now, because they have, quantity doesn't equal a discount, by the way,
Right,
you know?
right.
The more the less, never.
Yeah. So I
Well,
think it's pretty cut and dry, so.
yeah, okay, good. Well, no, I'm not disputing anything. I just want everybody to.
Anybody
They
else?
might come up with 2 or 3 of them that are not right, but that's fine.
Well,
They'll probably object to the 19 and, Farwell.
I'm hoping they would feel lucky that they haven't been having to pay this.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. We're not looking for so many
Yeah.
years of back. You know, we're just looking to get current. Again, we don't want more than what you owe.
Yeah.
But we don't want less.
Anything else on that? Mike, are you still there? Or are you asleep?
There.
Okay, he's still there.
He's under the hood.
So Mike, do you have anything on this? On the fee schedule?
No, I think
Okay.
since we're not back to them and we're just moving forward, that's the best way to approach it.
Okay, so Matt has his, he's not here and he has his public works report, and I got a copy of it here. Does anybody have any comments or questions about that?
Well, let's just read through his thing here. All right, so you want to read through?
Go ahead.
Revised fee policy. Mike, Matt left his monthly department report. Okay, so I'm gonna read through it. Revised fee
Okay.
policy. Revised fee policy. And underneath that, update needs to occur in July, August. And the next one, proposed updates are on the county website. Revised fee
Okay.
policy. Well, we're gonna need more info on him. What are we revising? The fee policy. We just went through that last year, unless we think we need to go. So we'll need him for this for next month. Get more info, does anybody have any more, what he's talking about there? Okay, so next bullet here, advertise additional position for truck driver with CDL, no applications. Next item, he's got his automated gates bid open. Williamson Fence out of Great Falls is the low bidder. They're researching best RFID reader cards. Next item, transfer station, roof contract signed, work to be performed in spring. Pretty well now. And then he's also performing safety upgrades. Next bullet item, block walls at Chico in need of repair.
Got a comment on that?
Go ahead. Yep.
That's been on the report for,
Yeah.
are we ever gonna do that?
Chico?
Well, I think it's
Yes,
a
it
going
does.
on thing. I
Yeah.
think it's constantly going.
Well, I think they were talking about getting up there and doing it themselves.
I think they were too. I think the last time he talked about it, he said that they were gonna do it themselves, go up there and get it repaired.
But that's been on
It's
the
been
list,
on-
so I guess I'm saying it hasn't.
It's
a
been
while.
there for a while.
Okay, next bullet, ordered security camera boxes with the bar service in Clyde Park. And he's got here, will be installing poles at sites for security cameras and also installing security cameras at the transfer station. So 3,
So he already has one camera. I know he already has one camera at Clyde Park. And he was installing anywhere from 4 to 6 for a total, I do believe. And the one that is there is seeming to be catching a lot of attraction.
Really?
A lot. People are freaking out. They're making sure they got their tags.
Good.
They're watching their plates.
Geez, that might, those cameras might work.
They're pulling they are pulling attention. I've seen it slapped down once or twice, and when the drivers come in, they pull it back up. Because it's just on a little swivel,
Oh,
and he's got it right there at the gate pointing at the license plates. So it grabs your eye as you're going in. So it is getting attention.
good.
Now, we would like to see some pictures.
Yeah.
That-
Good.
that we didn't come last.
Upgrading safety on roll-off trucks. Installing safety cameras, and they're increasing fire extinguisher size. That's basically it on his, we really needed. We didn't know he was gonna be leaving early. But anyways. Anybody have anything to add to any of those?
There's really nothing we can
So,
say to that, if Matt's not here.
yeah, we don't have Clint either. I'd like to get a little update. I asked Clint to give us a little update on, I think everybody's aware, saw in the paper where commissioners enforced or put trailer parks will be assessed for all their spaces. Everybody's aware of that? That's in,
Where's all the attorneys?
well,
Remember that.
yeah, the whole thing with this in our teeth, this is state mandate. That's why there's nobody,
Kind of hard to fight that way, huh?
which is good.
Okay, let's move through the agenda then on the back of it. Anybody, public comment? Nobody here from the public. Anything you guys want on the next agenda, you can talk to me. And, John and I will make sure that it gets put on the agenda.
I would like to see an overall thing from Matt on these cameras and stuff.
Overall,
Well, in other words, buying cameras, we're going to Clyde Park and Forest Service. The question is, why those two sites? Why not Trill? Is it because of power? You only get power there or?
That has something to do with it, yeah.
Forest Service does not have power, they have to. do
They're-
that.
Well, okay, that's, why, I'm just curious.
As far as I
about
know.
Positioning the cameras, I think it's because of power.
I think so too. They just got power installed out in Clyde Park.
So good camera surveillance
You'd like to see some
update.
pictures.
Love to see
We'd like
some
to, we'd like to know them are really cameras.
And also it was maybe
okay?
not a bad idea.
Did we wake
to
you, Mike?
Take the camera down, it's been a needs that's never been.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, I agree.
That camera's been there for 2 years, nobody's ever.
Bring that up next meeting.
It was
Start, we'll get into that.
We'll put it on the agenda.
Well, I'll just,
So
we'll
that
put
we
the
can
camera
discuss it.
surveillance update, and then we can take it from there.
Why don't you guys think about things that you want Matt to talk to us about at the next meeting? Try and get me that list, just send me an email. Give me that list, like 10 days, a week before, and I will set up a meeting and go meet with Matt and tell him that we would like to discuss at the next meeting.
Yeah. Because I think, for example, it's installing the cameras. Weren't they gonna build little huts and stuff like that? too?
Yeah.
Weren't they that included, do you think?
Bought boxes. Yeah, he bought boxes that actually have the cameras in
Yeah,
them.
look, it says ordered security camera boxes
Right,
for the fire service in Clyde Park.
right.
Hey, so with the recycle, it'd be nice for Matt to have it. We'd like to know the last 5 years on what our, what the,
Return ones.
what our return was on, what else did we
On
have?
commodities, yeah.
Commodities.
Yeah.
Oh, let's find out about,
I think the only return when they had, the way they talked, was this last year. Because before that, it was, he said he put your, he got the doors, he just,
I don't even care if he just gives us a ballpark, and goes back 10 years and says, hey, look, 10 years ago, we were probably getting about 8% return, that's dwindled down to 0, and 5 years ago, whatever, I just like an update on it, to know what we got. And what kind of, what did that translate into dollar amount? Oh, we want to know about weights, about tonnage.
yeah.
That's what I'm asking. Well, what is our true cost?
Yeah.
That's,
Well,
it's all mixed up.
They should be able to tell you the weight, because they go, if they go to Chico and pick up they know how much their truck weighs, because they can only put so much in it.
That's a,
And then they go to Gardner,
yeah, but the problem
they
is,
go dump it.
they're not hitting just us, they're hitting all the private places too.
Why
That's
don't
what he
we,
said before.
why don't
But
we,
I'm
why don't we
wondering if
adjourn
them-
this meeting and we can,
Okay.
and then we can sit around and talk. So
Good.
I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
Second,
And Funk, I'll second it.
Diane seconds it.
Are you getting?
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, meeting's adjourned.